Hey, welcome to Women Blazing Trails. I have another really super cool guest today. I'm going to start having guests on my show because there are women out there who know way more stuff than I do about really cool shit that I like to talk about. So today we're talking about skincare, but I think we just want to talk about aging and aging gracefully and beautifully without sticking needles in our face. That's what we're talking about today. So my lovely guest that I found in a over 50 women's group on Facebook. Facebook groups are amazing. You can find the most unique and amazing people on Facebook groups and actually make friends with people. If you need friends, if you feel lonely, go join a Facebook group that's in your with like-minded women, and there's a community. Okay, anyway, that's enough. Over to my left, your right, I'm not sure. This is my lovely new friend, Amy Wall. So I'm going to give you the floor, Amy, and just first of all, I want you to talk about very briefly who you are and what you do. Tell us a little bit about your business, and then I just really want to get right into skincare needles versus no needles. So off to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Eva. As you mentioned, I'm Amy Wall, and I'm an award-winning skincare expert, energetic beauty visionary, and mentor to women around the world who want to age without inflammation, who want to age without judgment, and who want to age without injections. I really specialize in that. And at the root of all of that is really helping women experience that feeling of beautiful that
So
she's looking for.
when you say award winning, so tell us a little bit about that. What award winning? What did you
Yeah.
award winning from? Talk about that.
Yeah, I was named the top esthetician in the United States in 2016, an award given to me by 14 of the world's most preeminent skincare scientists, ingredient formulators, and experts from
Shut up.
Japan, Austria, Australia, Korea. And I was mentored by the Wizard of Oz of the ingredient industry. So the guy who discovered the peptide for the cosmetics industry, I was mentored by him. So I'm a deep insider in the world of big beauty, from the behind the scenes, backstage pass, right in there. So that's it.
That's
I
incredible.
am an authority on beauty and skincare on every layer and level.
So how did you, so take us back, when did this even start? Have you always been,
Yeah.
always? So
Yeah.
take us back to a little bit to the beginning, how this got started.
Well, my parents were hippies. They met in the summer of love in 1969
I love that.
in the elevator of the Hotel California.
Shut up.
They were 20 and 21.
Oh my God.
And then they ran off to live on a commune when I was about 3, and they raised me in counterculture, with organic and natural being just, of course. And my mom was a nutritionist. My dad was they were finding themselves and they had a little bit of the dark side of the hippie lifestyle as well. But I was introduced to consciousness from a very early age. They were all dropping acid and exploring other realms. And I was reading the books in the bookshelf, like Autobiography of a Yogi and Transcendental Meditation and You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And
Best
I
book
was
ever.
creating mirror rituals by reading the back of the personal care, because my dad was a good hippie. He had the good Weleda and the good stuff. And I would read the back of the bottle. And because my mom was a nutritionist and taught me how to read every ingredient of every processed food, I was studying these ingredients when I was a little girl, and then doing water rituals and mirror things when I was really as young as 6 years old. But I started really getting into it. I was 12 and 13 years old. And then it just sort of went from there. I was in the hospitality business in between that, before getting back into the official beauty business. But I'm just somebody who likes to make beauty wherever I go, whether that's my garden, a client's face, of my heart, the world. It's like this relationship I have to beauty that I have been developing for a very long time.
Because you were raised with it.
I
You're
was raised with it. And
you're
so magic,
so
beauty and
blessed.
magic.
You're so blessed and so fortunate because so
Mm.
many of us didn't have that opportunity and were raised by dreadful parents.
Muggles there. But can I say something? I actually
Yeah.
I glossed over a lot there. My dad was actually a heroin addict, ultimately, a white collar, albeit, he wasn't shooting it, but he was spending all his money on it and he was spending all his time with it. My mom was finding herself with est and every self-help thing known to man. And I spent a lot of time by myself and I had very, very poor self-image and poor self-esteem, which is why now what I do, I call the higher self beauty effect. And it's really this combination of, yes, having skin intelligence and knowing a lot about skincare, but it's also looking at your self-image and your identity and really figuring out where these subconscious programs are, and especially around age for women, like
Yes.
what we're supposed to be doing or looking
Yeah.
like. That's
Yeah.
just like very sneaky. It doesn't belong to us. So that
Yeah.
has to be a big piece. And then the energy, like what's going on in our body and how can we energize our life with just our breath and our intention?
Yeah.
And how can we make beauty this nourishing well that doesn't ever run dry? It's reversing the paradigm of that we're just in this value spiral of like, the clock is ticking, the sands are dripping out.
Yeah.
And the only way we can really reverse that is through what I mentioned, some of these consciousness practices that I've been doing for a really long time. So it's exciting because we can
That's cool.
age differently and we can
Yeah.
age beautifully. I don't even like to talk about age. I mean, what is that? An arbitrary revolution around the sun that somebody counted, that somebody said. What we want to worry about, or not even worry about, but what we want to put our attention on is how much energy our mitochondria still have and how much energy are we running through our body? Do we have stagnancy? Do we have blockages? I don't want to be youthful. I don't want to be young. All I want is to be fresh. So imagine that pool of water. We want to get that algae cleared out of there. We want to keep it fresh and running, and you do that with energy.
That's awesome. I just wanted to make one little point, and then I want to talk about the skin energy thing with you. So, because I don't understand, I don't know anything about it, and you can help the audience. But I think for especially for women as we're aging, and we see all these gorgeous models and all these gorgeous now. Of course, everything is video, so TikTok and Instagram reels. Oh, you see all these beautiful women and us as women, we feel like, oh my God, I don't look beautiful like her anymore because there's this competition. We're always in competition to try to look. I have to look beautiful. Oh, I want to look like her. She's 25. I want to look 25. So we stick needles in her face, and I think we feel. I think it's just maybe it's just me. I don't know. I think as women over 50 and 60, we start looking in the mirror and we start feeling like I'm not beautiful like her anymore. My skin is starting to sag. I'm starting to get wrinkles. I have a clitoris in the middle of my forehead, all these things, right? And we feel not worthy. We do. We don't. We're in this competition with all these 25-year-olds and we don't feel I can't compete. I'm not worthy. I'm not beautiful anymore. Now I'm just old. My skin is sagging. I have fucking wrinkles. And women feel like that,
But
right?
is
And
any of that true?
none of it is true, but we feel like that. And that's when everybody runs to the Dr.
Yeah.
Wuhan and gets needles stuck in their and and I told you, me and Amy talked earlier. I did that. I tried Botox. I hated it. It was the worst experience of my life. I tried it once in Mexico and I hated it. And then I went back to the doctor. I'm like, this doesn't work. Like I paid you an arm and a leg and this is bullshit. Like it doesn't work. So then he stuck a filler and I hated that even more. And I'm like, why am I doing this? This is ridiculous. I'm not doing this anymore. And I don't know why. I know why women do that because we want to be eternally beautiful, but we don't have to be eternally beautiful by sticking shit in our face. My face hurts just thinking about it. So
Okay, so deep breath, so deep breath. So
deep breath.
I'm gonna facilitate some energy, and if you feel it, you feel it. If you don't, no big deal. But everything that just brought up and let down, feel the energy. Ooh, it's like right in the stomach and the heart.
Yeah.
Everything that brought up and let down, are we willing to let it all go and
Yeah.
dissolve and dissipate it, relax and release it, and return it back to sender with consciousness attached, because guess what? It's not true. And speaking of TikTok and being competitive, I opted out of that. I'm 53 years old. I did the Botox in my 40s, and I also had a horrible experience with it. It really hurt my self-esteem. I can get into that later. But it's only up to you to realize that you're not running out of value, and that you have actually as much older, however older you are than the woman you're looking at it, you have that much more value.
Yeah, for sure.
First of all, I have a TikTok that has like almost 700,000 views, and it's just like kind of like me just strutting my stuff, saying like that feeling you get when you're like in your 50s and you just do what you want and you look great naturally. And it got a lot of hate, obviously, because you're not supposed to like appreciate yourself when you're in your 50s. But the whole thing with comparing yourself to other women, it's just, you can just stop it. We can just just stop it.
Yeah, but we do.
I absolutely do not. No, I don't have that at all. I have the sacred, that's why I do what I do. If you're out there feeling like you're comparing to other women, then this work that I do would really, really benefit you, because you know who is actually holding on to all those thoughts and beliefs and projections and rejections and limitations and separations and everything that you just mentioned. It's your self-image. It's that part of us that we have put into the closet and put a whole bunch of bags and boxes on and totally forgotten, shut the door, and then meanwhile fell asleep and listened to culture or society, but it's not really anybody. It's just this pernicious lie that we can actually just say, shut the fuck up and we're done. And actually, I'm amazing just the way I am. And when you do that consistently, you can stop feeling these feelings, because this feels like shit. And as far as looking in the mirror and realizing that your face is changing, that's why I want this mission to get to teenagers, my mission, because if we can because what happens is we stop looking in the mirror sometime around in our 40s. This is what I think. We're busy giving to other people and our children and our careers. And then when we have our time back to ourselves, we look in the mirror and are like, who is that? I don't even know.
Where did I go? Yeah.
So let's all develop a relationship with the woman in the mirror now, sooner than later, because I promise you there's magic in there, even if it's uncomfortable. And there's a lot of stuff that comes up. We're holding all of this stuff into our faces. So we don't have to do the Botox, and for people like us that have a lot of energy, and, we are cold friends. Like, this is like, we just met each other. This is the first time we're meeting. I literally haven't even researched you or anything. And I think the same about me. You have a lot of energy. So anybody who has a lot of energy in life force, why would you want to stop the flow of circulation and put an energetic dam, especially right here in what is
That's your third eye chakra. That's a really good, that's a really good way of explaining it.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Right. That's a really good way of explaining that. And I don't think women see that connection. So let's talk a little bit about, so we beat that to death. And I hope women got a little bit out of that, like whoever is watching. I hope you got that. It's your self-image. Like, you're beautiful.
Self-image is the thermostat. Our self-image is a thermostat, and it has been set years ago, and we never looked at the thermostat again. So that's that one piece. But I want to bring up about injections. There's no shame in doing injections if you're choosing that, and you're really, whether you're having a great experience or not. It's just that there's so much attention given to getting them and why they're good, and you want to support your local person who's doing it, and your friend got it and you're all doing it and it's great, and you want to look like that person, but there's no shame in choosing that if that works for you. But if you're on the person like us and you're out there thinking, is that all there is? No, there's this whole other way you can relate to your beauty. And I mean, you have secrets to tell us as well about that, because you just radiate sensuality and this like richness and sexiness, really. And just, it's beauty, but it's a rich beauty. So we all have that inherent ability. And so just,
we do.
Botox is not bad. It's just that unless you're using it intentionally and really getting great results, why would you waste that money
Right.
and your energy?
You could travel with all the money you spend on Botox. You could travel the fucking world. You can come see me in Guatemala and have some tacos and margaritas. Why do you
My
want
friend
to?
was just there. I am just like,
No
yeah,
way. It's
yeah,
awesome. So anyway,
yeah.
let's talk about. So we beat that to death. I'm just we're taking things and we're putting them
Next.
away. So let's talk about the skin energy, because like I said earlier, we've never talked before. I don't really know who you are. I looked at your website a little bit. I'm going to drop the link to Amy's website down in the description box below. So please do check that out. So I don't really. So this is all new to me. So please explain to us now about skin energy, because this is really interesting to me, and I want to hear everything about that.
Okay, well, we all, so the energy of the skin is the energy of the body, right? Because the skin is it's the thing that holds us all together. It's like it's the living fabric of our being. And it's a sensing organ. Our largest organ. It's a sensing organ. And it's part of our excretory system. So it's letting go of things, and it's bringing things in, it's protecting, it's got all of these different functions, and it has the same lipid barrier, or the same composition oil. It has this, no, I don't want to get too technical here. There's a connection between your skin and your brain. Let's just say
Okay.
that.
Yes.
And there's an emotional connection. We are holding tensions in our body, right? And the skin is covering that. The fascia, in which, is covering our muscles and connecting in with our skin, that is this superconductor, the super highway of information and energy. All the circulation that's happening in our body, all of the mitochondria in our cells that are creating the little pulses of energy, that we're these living beings of energy. So in terms of the skin and energy, what we want to do with products specifically is make sure that the product is something that can increase energy, right? Increase circulation. So here's a good tip for everyone. And you may already know this: niacinamide. It's kind of a hot ingredient right now. I saw it in an Olay product. So if Olay is advertising about it, then it's okay to actually talk about it. It's not that technical. Niacinamide is a type of B vitamin.
I was going to say, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So niacinamide, sometimes it causes that niacin flush. Have you heard of a niacin flush?
No.
So people take niacin before they exercise, and it gives them that rush of energy. And sometimes it makes their face really red. So it's called a niacin flush.
Okay.
Well, when you use a little bit of niacin in your products, so look out for that, everyone. A little niacinamide is usually how it's listed. That's helping shuttle all the other ingredients into your skin and around. So it's helping increase
Really?
circulation. And just remember, more flow, more glow. So we want
Wow,
to
that's
get that
interesting.
energy flowing. And I love to teach my clients to tap their skin
Oh, nice.
while they're looking in the mirror with their eye contact and saying an I am statement. It's not really an affirmation. It's more of
Like a conviction, like
yeah, it's a conviction, and it's
yeah,
just a command, and it's like
yeah.
sets the tone. So you can do some programming with yourself with that, and also tapping the product in so that the product is really being absorbed. So that's, energy in a nutshell. It's who we be, but we get taught, not to pay attention to it very much. Another quick energy tip for everybody out there is breathing. Breathing in what you require, letting go of what is no longer needed, and really tuning into that. This is like this pulse and this cycle. That's energy.
Right. So that's very interesting about the skin, and because the skin is the largest organ, and whatever we put on our skin, our bodies take it in, it sucks it up. So would you, and I'm not, I do want to talk about your
Oh
stuff
no,
in a sec.
we don't
No,
have to talk about my stuff. Let's
yeah,
just
we do.
I want to
Oh,
get deep.
I want to talk about your stuff. So I'm an all natural kind of girl. And living in Guatemala, I found it's really, really easy to do that. So so my skincare routine. So I quit smoking a year and a half ago. Um, I really don't drink that much. And I exercise. So my skincare routine, I haven't used soap on my face in years. I literally use everything is natural that I use on my face now. I pick aloe vera from my yard. I put that on my face. I use sweet almond oil, and then I use a as my carrier oil, and then I use frankincense and neroli and lavender and all that stuff. And then, so what's your thought on all of that kind of all that natural ingredient stuff? What are your
Yeah,
thoughts on that?
I already told you that, right? I grew up like that. So yes, to all
Mm.
of that. And my philosophy, first of all, you are what I have a beauty energy archetype system that I use in my business.
Oh, nice.
And there's 5 different types, and you're what we call the protector. And with a tinge of the alchemist. And
I gotta check
so
that out now.
there's nothing wrong with what you're doing right now, and it works for you. Your skin is, you've got some you make oil in your skin, you do make plenty of oil, you have some pore size differentiations. I mean, I'm just reading your skin right now
I do.
energetically.
I
You
do.
have and of course I can't see it super close up, but I can see your face. Pigment stuff from obviously being on in Guatemala.
Yep.
You're wearing some sort of mineral makeup or some sort of, do you have like a,
It's
do
just
you have a
L'Oreal found.
sunscreen
It's just L'Oreal foundation.
foundation? Okay, so
Yeah.
it's got the a little bit of pigment in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what you're doing with the almond and the aloe is great. Make sure that before you put your oil on, that your face is nice and doused with hydration, like from the aloe vera. So if you put the aloe on first and make it nice and, wet, if you have any tools like gua sha stone or jade rollers
I
or
don't have
anything
any
like
of
that,
that. I
okay,
don't.
I would
I
invite
want
you
to
to
get one. I'm actually,
you should get one.
can we just stop and talk about
Yeah,
that for 1 second?
sure.
Because I would be really interested in learning about that, because I've seen them, and here we don't have Amazon in Guatemala, so there's not a lot of stuff I can get. But I do have to go to Canada in July, so I'm stocking up on all the shit that I can't get in
You can
Guatemala.
use a spoon. Get a big
So
spoon.
tell me about that. Well,
Get
the
the,
jade roll. Let's
but
talk about the.
are you hearing me that you can get a spoon and do it right now in Guatemala?
And it's
You
the
don't
same
have to
thing.
have, it's basically gua sha translates to scraping, and it is a Chinese medicine. And it's a very ancient self-healing modality that started with, it's the people's medicine. So it started with spoons. So yes, your grandma would scrape the stagnation out, move the stagnation, move the old out, and hydrate and move the energy. So you're moving that fascia and moving the tensions out. And so, yes, go to Canada. Yes, get a stone when you're there. But yes, you can also use a spoon with the round side up. And you could do
Wow.
it on top of the aloe vera. If you make it kind of like a nice gel, if you really get a lot going and make it a gel, you can put the spoon. I mean, I'm happy to come back and do a masterclass for you guys. A
Oh,
spoon
we might have to do that.
and like this. Well, that's what I do in my business model is we get together twice a month and a whole group of women exercise. We do our skin together. We massage our skin together
Like
while
in
I
person or online?
on Zoom. We do a Zoom circle and we
I
must
want to
all do our
come. My, that
we do
sounds
our skin
so,
together. You must come as my guest. Yes, I will invite
that
you to come
sounds
too.
so awesome.
But let me talk to you about why on top of that aloe vera, you want to put the almond oil last, but while your skin is still moist. So the skin, if you just put the oil on your skin when your skin is already dry, it's not going to lock in as much moisture. So you want to keep the skin nice and wet. You can also use like a rose hydrosol, like a rose water, any kind of water,
Okay.
floral water, anything that you're making there, papaya. You could take some
I have
papaya.
Jamaica, which it's like with its hibiscus leaves.
Yeah, just make yourself a tea from that and then put in a spritz and spray. I'm a big fan of doing lots of like spa pantry things, but I want to give you some killer value right now. You ready? Okay. So
No,
for your
this is
pores,
crazy.
because I
Yes.
know that I'm a skin
I,
psychic
I
whisperer.
love you. I'm
Okay.
so glad you're here.
So the pore size that you struggle with a little bit of
I do
judgment,
a lot. Yeah.
a lot of judgment.
Yeah.
So we're just going to uncreate and destroy all that, return to center with consciousness attached. And I'm going to teach you a really awesome mask that you can do once a week, and you can do it. And I know they have it there in Guatemala. So it's baking soda,
Okay. Yeah.
and water,
Okay.
like 3 to 1, something like that, a nice little paste. Then I want you to put your paste all over where your pore size is, right in here around the cheeks and the nose, a little bit right in here into this. Oh, I can teach you an energetic wrinkle release for this, by the way.
For my clitoris, for my forehead
Yes, yeah.
clitoris.
Yeah, for your
Really?
11, for your 11s, but we can do that next. So you're going to put the paste on, you're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. And then you're going to take a washcloth that you have soaked in hot water and wrung out. And you're going to put the washcloth on top of the area of where the mask is, baking soda and water paste, for until the washcloth cools down. Then you're going to wipe that all away. And then in your close-up mirror, I feel like you have one, you're going to make sure your
Maybe.
hands are ultra clean. Scrub your hands. If you had gloves, that would be awesome. If not, no worries. You can wrap your 2 fingers with tissue. And of course, if we were doing my spa circle, I'd show you everything. Tissue around the fingers. And then just go in and look and see if there's any impactions, if there's any, like, comedones, which is dead skin cells and the little plugs. If there are any, just kind of gently wiggle them back and forth, they'll slide right out. Take it, just swipe them away. If there's anything that takes more than a slight wiggle, then you don't work at it at all. Then you, after that, I don't know if you can get cucumbers there.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so a
Oh, yeah.
cucumber water after that, splash your face with cucumber and take like a cotton pad and just make sure you've swiped away all of the baking soda, cucumber water splash. Then do your aloe vera all around your eyes, tapping it in, letting go of stuck tensions, moving your energy, then coming in with that sweet almond oil and just pressing it in. And just like the skin, now you've absorbed all of that in with intention, and you've created this whole regimen, and you're going to get really good results from it.
I'm gonna be fucking glowing in a month. And I'm gonna get to Canada and I'll be
cucumbers, adding in the
wow.
cucumbers, and also make yourself some papaya. You could do papaya.
Yeah.
The papaya for your skin.
I've heard.
Another one you can do is mash up the papaya. Any kind of clay that you can get your hands on from the store, red clay, white clay.
Yeah,
okay,
no.
Don't worry about clay, just the papaya. Yogurt, do you have any yogurt? Okay, yogurt and papaya, mash it together, put that on your entire face, 10 minutes, rinse, maybe a cucumber water spritz, honey.
Oh my God. You know what's funny? Oh my God. I'm so glad we're doing this. Look at all the shit I'm learning. You know what's really funny? So I'm a Google hound, and I'm always Googling anti-aging face mask that's good for zits and wrinkles and blah, 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 blah. So I made a mask with yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, mango, oatmeal, honey, because we have all natural honey here. It's so yummy. And I put that on. I do that every morning, actually. I put that on.
You don't need to, the oatmeal is good if you're having, if you're irritated at all, but I would just take the oatmeal out of there because it's cutting out some of the effectiveness of the acids. The yogurt and the mango, papaya is more powerful than mango. Papain, the enzyme papain is what we use in topical skin formulations, and almost all of them that have an exfoliant. Right. So it's a natural exfoliant. How it works is it digests the dead skin cells. It digests the dead skin cells.
Freaking amazing.
Yeah.
We have papayas are like $1.25.
Papaya,
like
your whole body. Just put that everywhere. Papaya everywhere. Just
I don't, well, I won't be eating it because I don't really like papaya, but I'll put that shit on my body. I don't care.
Yeah, put it on your body.
That's funny. Those are awesome. I'm so glad this is recording because I'm going to come back and watch this a
That's
million
what I
times
figured.
so I don't forget anything. That's awesome. So thank you for all those amazing tips. Can you tell us a little bit about, you talked about your twice a month Zoom groups. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because maybe some of my girls would like to join
Yeah.
too. Can you talk about
Actually,
that?
it's just really good timing. And I don't know when, when people will be watching it in the future, but hello to the future.
Mhm.
But and I'm not sure when I'm actually going to close this down either, because I'm just following the energy of it, but it's a membership that I just launched. And we, in addition to meeting up on Zoom twice a month, we also practice my beauty modality, which is the higher self beauty effect. So there's like all these activations, and it's really its own little universe of tools for your tool belt for using with beauty. So all the recipes, I do nutrition. I have experts that speak on hormones and all sorts of beauty stuff. But that main thing, those meetings, those meetups, one is on Wednesday evening and one is on Saturday morning. The second Wednesday of the month and the last Saturday of the month.
Those sound
The
awesome.
magic is us getting together and touching our face together. So I will have a guest. So it's like, do your skin with me. And then you bring your oils or whatever. If you have my products, great. I have two memberships. I have one that includes products and a discount on products. And then I have one for people who are out of the United States or who just don't want to use the products. So yeah. And
That sounds
I'll give
really
you,
awesome.
I'll give you the links to that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
please do. That sounds like a great little community. And I think too, like for me, when you talk about that, just makes what it sounds like to me is just a community of like-minded women who just don't care about that whole, you know, that competing with other. It's about oneness and unity and being, I don't know, I can't even
Let
describe
me
it.
let me describe it for you. Let me
It
describe it for you.
it feels really good. I feel
It feels really good,
it
and
does.
and that's why we met, I'm sure, because this stuff only reaches people who have a spark for it. And that's why I don't really push on my business. I just let it sort of unfold. But this is what it is. Imagine, so the main not most, a lot of women, I don't know how many, I would say 80-20 rule probably. So
Mm.
I guess that is most. And I hope it's not that much, but at any rate, what we're talking about with the scarcity and the competitiveness is survival beauty. It's the survival of the prettiest, and it's we inherit it from the lineage, our mother's mothers. It's actually living inside of our cellular makeup through. I can get into that later, but
I've read about that before.
yes. So it's scarcity, and it's like being a field mouse where you're in the grass and you know that a hawk is going to come and get you at any time, and you're just like, oh my God, you have to worry about your survival. And being beautiful for women is one of our main freaking survival techniques. So when we start to lose that and we become invisible, which by the way is so easy to fix,
Yeah.
become visible to your own damn self first, then all that changes, because I'm still, men tell me I'm beautiful all the time. People look at me. I didn't get invisible by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, if I really want to dial it up, I have those skills, but it's not really about that. It's just about that you have mistakenly thought that beauty was one thing when it's this whole other thing. So higher self beauty is like having that eagle's 360-degree view of really who you are, what you're here to do, and unhooking from the scarcity. It's just bullshit. You just reverse it. You just go up and everybody else can stay down. But the problem with it is it's not that simple, and beauty causes suffering for women, right?
Yeah, it does.
Because every time you're spending thousands of dollars trying to chase a feeling
Yeah.
that you're never going to get to,
Yeah.
women are out there feeling unappreciated. And what is
Yeah.
it happens to your money when it's not appreciating and growing? It loses value, the same thing. So we got to learn how to work with beauty currency, energy, reclaim the director's seat of our own life and our own creation of what we look like. Not make it so important. Have fun with it. It's like once you kind of get the hang of this, you just realize that you're always creating yourself anyways. It's just that you have been stuck on this old program that doesn't even work anymore.
It
And
doesn't work.
you just
It's
decided to get off of
toxic.
it.
Yeah, it's a toxic
It's,
cycle program, and
it's
it doesn't
toxic.
work.
It's codependent.
Yeah.
It wastes money. And speaking of like a recession and what are they calling it? When the money starts going up,
Depreciating.
it's the
What?
inflation.
Oh, okay.
Inflation.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So if anybody's like thinking about inflation out there and thinking about their budgets, I mean, I think everybody I know in the United States is like looking at like their non-essentials. Like I went
Right.
through all my subscriptions. It's like people are talking about inflation. Of course, you don't want to be wasting money, and things are
Yeah.
getting the interest rates are changing and people are looking at their investments. So we're all looking at what's non-essential. You know what's non-essential? Injections, facials that burn your face, anything that it takes you farther away from who you really are. And, if you're worried about that, that's the first place to cut those things out.
Yeah.
They're just like
For
they're
sure.
not adding to the bottom line, right?
No. Can we, before I do want to wrap this up pretty soon, but I want to talk about one thing more before we do. Talk us, and I know you're an esthetician and you're a skincare expert. I didn't know you were like an award winning. I feel like all like special now that you're on my show.
Oh, I
I
just say that just
do.
to establish my
feel
authority.
special. But anyway, so talk a little bit about nutrition. How important is nutrition to you? And in the scope of what you do.
Yeah, nutrition is really important, but I don't practice nutrition in a way that is hard or what is it when restrictive. I'm
Okay.
not into restrictive, judgmental nutrition. So it's all about finding out what works for your body. And yes, feeding your body is very important, but the most important thing that you should think about with food is it's not necessarily the macronutrients that are in each vegetable or fruit or grain or protein. It's really about how much light and water it still has in it. And you want to think about your body as a light and water powered machine. So we want to make sure that we're hydrating those cells. And the way that we do that is by eating certain fruits and vegetables that are made of gel water and activating it with plenty of sunlight and movement for the fascia so that we can pump the energy through our body. I use lots of powders, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. I eat whatever I like. I had M&Ms for breakfast. I'm on a pleasure, no judgment diet. I don't restrict ever. I don't think sugar is bad for you. Actually, there's a lot of new, just like coffee goes back and forth. I predict the big thing is that sugar will come out as not being bad for you. Obviously it's not, because fruits are full of pure sugar. So what we want to do is achieve balance without trying to feel, this is what it is, everyone. Whatever you put into your body, is it hurting or is it taking away? Is it hurting or is it helping? Is it adding to you or is it subtracting? Are you using it to fill a hole or are you using it to feel whole? So,
Like intuitive eating.
Intuitive everything, everything. If you're energetically sensitive and you like to be that way, if you're not, you probably won't want to see what I'm up to, because you would want to just keep using the 7-step system. Though I would ask, does it work? I don't know. I don't know if anybody ever goes like, wow, that product just really blew my mind, No, we need more than products to feel better. Nutrition is very important, but especially topical nutrition. So if you're going to be investing some money into your face, you want to use products either like what you're talking about, which I use a lot of this kind of stuff too, together with the compounded formulas that I make with a compounding pharmacist.
Let's talk a little bit about, let's go right
into
a lot
different. Yeah, so it's a lot different than a chemist who is making big vats of products that are going and shipping out to a warehouse shelf, right? Sitting there for a while. Till somebody else, a retailer gets it, then it's going to go there. Might sit on your esthetician or your doctor's office shelf or the grocery shelf or the department shelf for a while. Then you're going to get it and you're going to put it in your crazy shelf and drawer of cosmetic
Magic potions.
chaos, and you don't really know how to use it. So you're going to maybe put it on a little bit and then forget about it and go on to the next best thing. But the products that I create are fresh and active, and they're made of the same vitamins and minerals, electrolytes that we would be using topically. So lots of vitamin A, slow release vitamin A, vitamin C's, peptides, glutathione is a big.
What's that?
Glutathione is the body's master antioxidant and peptide.
Okay.
So it is what we want to do is have lots of that in our body naturally. So that's a big feature of the product. But it's really feeding the skin. So instead of working on skin types, this just makes the skin, it's feeding all skin conditions. There are no skin types. That's a myth. We don't have enough time to get into that. The type of products that I use feed the skin. However, having said that, the other stuff that I use, so we have skin nutrition, which falls under skin intelligence, but the energy piece and the self-image piece, if you don't have all three of them working together, you could have just my product and not do any of the other stuff. And you'd be like, okay, yes, this is really good product, but meh, I might go on to the next best thing if I didn't really know how to use it to its fullest capacity. So that's why I can teach you how to. You're never going to get my products because I don't ship to Guatemala unless you come. I don't ship to Canada either. I'm only in the US because it's so fresh. I don't want it to be sitting in mail thing. It has to go straight out to the client.
So
but that's okay because there's other good products. So you can still, so
your product isn't just buy a jar of cream and slap it on your face. It's a whole energy system that there's like love, but like it's full of love and stuff. It's not just this cream full of shit.
No, and the ingredients, if you read my ingredients, they're just like chef's kiss.
I'm gonna have to do that because I do have you did send me the link and I was like, oh, she does skincare, and that's literally
read my story.
I'm going to do that as soon as we're done. I'm going to do that because like I said, I just saw your link. I'm like, okay, she's a skincare girl. That's great. She doesn't do Botox and needles. That's great. Let's just talk. That's all I know. So I'm definitely going back and checking your site, and I'm going to drop a link here to your site and your skincare. But definitely also I need to check out like your monthly membership thingy. I want to check that out.
It's on. So for the non-product, product one, I'll give you a link to that. But that's really where it all happens. You learn my system, you learn the methodology in the membership. So in between us meeting up, I'm giving you a pathway. It's called the beauty pathway. So I have you have a quick start for 10 days. Then I take you to another level at the base of the mountain. Then we start building in the middle of the mountain. Then we're reaching this peak together that never ends until we do.
Right.
We're just like walking this path together, talking about these things. And then of course, creating amazing community with women like you and your audience who are up to big things in the world and shaking things up and redefining what it means to grow richer.
Yeah, I think community is really important more now than ever. And I feel that a lot of people now, maybe it's just me that maybe I'm just more aware of it. I'm not really sure, but I've noticed that people are more drawn to community, private, small, intimate. People like that because when you're in part of something bigger or larger, you just get lost in a sea of, and you suddenly we don't get anything out of it. We feel insignificant, and then we just don't pay. It's not that we don't pay attention, but we don't put in any more effort, and we don't get anything out of it. So people are more drawn to small, tight, like-minded, and that's where we grow.
Yeah, I see my group ultimately being about 500 women. I don't really see it,
That's great.
I do have a teen scholarship and foundation that 5% of the membership revenue goes to. It's $88 a month, by the way. So it's a freaking steal. And I've worked high end with, celebrity clients where they pay me a lot of money to take them through this rapidly in like 3 months. So it's this amazing value, but we do need, I love the small tight community, but we do need to create the ripple effect, which is why the scholarship for teens, I'm hoping just to get my philosophy out to as many teenage
That's great.
as possible. And so then hopefully it'll just start a ripple effect of that. we have to take back our power in the mirror. We just get to choose to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
we can prevent suffering. There's enough suffering in the world. We need to feel worthy. We need to feel like we can show up and shine our light so we can bring our gifts to the world. Not just me or you, but everyone in our
Yeah,
audience. Like, what do
absolutely.
you might not be getting on a Zoom call or running a membership, but maybe you need to take a stand somewhere else, and feeling that sense of enoughness and that feeling of like, I am the visionary and what I say goes in my life. Having that is just, I really feel like that could change the world.
That's gold. Yeah, for sure. You're awesome. I thank you so much. I got so much out of this. I just think you're
Welcome.
so amazing. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad we're here. This was
Me too.
great. I love your energy. I love everything you stand behind. What a great meeting this was.
Really.
Thank you for being here. I'm going to drop all your links down below to the watchers, anybody who's watching this now. And I hope that we can definitely keep in touch. Well, I'm probably going to join your membership anyway. I want to be with
Yes,
you.
come
Yeah,
on in. Come on into
I
that.
will. That's super cool. Thank you again so much, Amy, for your time, for
Welcome.
your knowledge, and for being like a great inspiration and a great voice for women. Like, I feel that the things that you said and everything you shared, I mean, for myself, that made me feel empowered and made me feel special. I can't imagine what it did for the women that are watching this right now. You just came on and just like made it, like, you just made us feel like special. And
You
that's
are.
great. So
All
I love
right.
you.
Mwah.
Thank you very much. And for those of you watching, don't forget to check out Amy's links down below. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all back here again on the next show. Goodbye from Guatemala.
Bye bye from Mendocino.